Your identity is not even real, okay? It's an illusion. This image is a word that you learned, and it's a set of ideas that you wrapped around yourself, but it exists between your ears, just like countries, just like nation states do, just like movements do, just like all these various concepts that people ascribe to their reality. Okay, identity is a toy. It is a illusion. Okay, it's a useful illusion. Okay, I'm this Will Freeman personal development guy. It's made me a lot of money. It's a way to present myself to you. It's sort of a shorthand. Okay, but it's not the reality of what I am. The reality of what I am is the spirit. Even this body is a rental. Okay, even the consciousness comes to me. Otherwise, we'd be dead when we were in deep sleep, right? Even the consciousness is not what you are. Consciousness comes to you. With that comes the body, and comes all these sights, sounds, tastes, and smells, and onward and onward and onward until you get even further removed into that, and you're in the realm of identity and philosophy, where you're so far removed from what you are. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great to have a good, positive identity. It's a necessary thing to be able to play this game of life. Just like when you're playing a video game, let's say you're playing a multiplayer online game, Warcraft or something, right? That's what this life is like. You need the sword, or you need the shield. You need to choose a character, an identity to that character, right? But you're not living in that identity, okay? You're still recognizing you're a player in the game. You are playing the game, and it's fun, okay? And the image is just one tool for state. State being the emotional, physical, and mental state that you're in at all times, which is what the whole game of life is about. And identity is just one of those tools, okay? Identity, your bank account, your physique, which you know about that, your style, your haircut, the way that you look, how good of a son you are, how good of a boyfriend you are, how much you give to your church, how good you are in the eyes of God, how well you're doing at school, your IQ. All these different facets are all ways for you to be able to get self-esteem from. And identity is just one of them. Okay, but you can't let that identity choke you or strangle you. I see this is a problem with a lot of entrepreneurs, with a lot of successful guys. Because a lot of successful guys who chase significance were originally feeling insignificant when they were younger. They were poor, they were bullied, they were abused by their parents, or all the above. You show me an area where someone has massive success, I'll show you at some point an area where they were a massive failure in that. All right? I put a lot of work into putting on muscle as I got older. It was no coincidence that I was small as a kid. Same thing, I put a lot of work into getting money. It's no coincidence that we were poor growing up. There were times where I felt insignificant growing up. We didn't have a lot of money. My mom had to always look for a babysitter or someone else's house for me to stay at before school. I didn't feel good about that. So significance as I got older became a big priority. But I recognize that identity, when it's not under proper control, will choke you out. And I did a video on this, on don't let significance, chasing significance ruin your life, okay? Because no one gives a shit, right? You're sitting there like, I drive a Dodge Stratus. I demand respect. I am a VP at the third largest mattress company in Southeast Toronto. Nobody fucking cares, man. Nobody cares. Okay? They're not thinking about you. But yet most people live in this, they're hamstrung, they're boxed in by this imaginary audience, right? The imaginary audience in your head of, what would Johnny Jerkow from high school think about what I'm doing right now? What about this enemy that I had before? What would he think about? What about those guys I used to work with 10 years ago? What about that guy I fired who hates me? What about the angry commenter on the dude? They're not even thinking about you. They think about you once a month. Okay. The ultimate antidote to identity is just having it to identity spoiling your state, is just recognizing identity is just one of many tools to get self-esteem. If it is not giving you self-esteem at that point, okay, you need to reframe the identity, or you need to change your focus. Okay, this has been the core of what of the videos that I'm talking about this week. It's about focus change. It's about multiple levels of self-esteem. It's about reframing your identity. Okay, the biggest reframe is sort of humility, right? When you allow yourself to be humble, you don't have to carry this weight of trying to like hold up this huge identity. You know, you don't have to walk into every room and try and dominate. You don't have to compete like a savage with everything. I used to take pride in the fact that I was a bad loser. And my motto was, anybody that's a good loser is used to losing. And I took pride on being competitive and getting pissed off whenever I lost. Guess what? You're going to lose at a lot of things, which means you're going to be unhappy a lot of the time. I don't want to live like that. So I took competition mostly off the table. I don't even play video games against friends. You know, I don't play play wrestle. Even within my business, I stopped looking at competitors. I stopped doing SEO. I was like, as long as I keep putting out good product and services and content, it literally doesn't even matter what other people are doing. I don't even want to know what other people are doing because I don't want to be influenced by that. I want to be able to be fully present within my mentality to give you exactly what I think is the best content for you. So, you know, whenever I'm caught in some type of a competitive situation, I just allow myself to be humble and I try and remove myself from those situations. You know, I was a fierce competitor when I was younger, but it was like losing was always so much more painful to me than winning. I don't know if you can relate to that, but it was like when I would win at soccer or whatever, which was really important to me, I would think, well, of course I should have won and I should have done better. When I lose, it would destroy me. Because it was like all the wins were already discounted. Because I had this huge identity that I was trying to live up to placate, to bandage, to cover over a sense of insignificance. But I'm at a point in my life where I feel actual security, where I feel actual comfort with myself, where I'm the level of success and what I've done and the lifestyle that I created, I feel actual esteem from that. So I don't have to go into situations trying to belittle people, trying to put people down, trying to find a way to feel significant. You know, it's you'll see this even like Donald Trump's a perfect example. He's always in some kind of a beef, right? He's always in some kind of a beef. He's still competing as if, you know, the same way a 7-year-old would. He's still constantly referencing himself for significance to hold up that identity. Incredibly successful guy, not to take anything away from him, but his identity is so large, his name on all these other buildings. And that's all great. I mean, that's a great toy to play with. That's a great, you know, attribute for your avatar in the game of life. But when that's all there is, when that's the only source of self-esteem, if that's lost even slightly, you're in pain. Okay, so that will choke you out. It will spoil your state.